The story begins in the tranquil mountains of Oregon, where 32-year-old Daniel Reed set out for a simple morning hike. The air was crisp, the pines whispered softly, and sunlight danced on the damp moss. Nothing about that morning hinted at the terror to come, except, perhaps, the eerie silence that followed the wind. Daniel left at 6:30 sharp, informing his fiancée he would return before lunch. He carried a small backpack, water, and a phone fully charged, tracking his route through a familiar trail. Yet, something intangible pulsed between the trees, a hum just beyond hearing, unsettling enough to raise goosebumps across his arms. At the half-mile mark, Daniel remembered the scent of the earth deepening, the rich decay of leaves growing stronger. He thought he saw a shimmer between the trunks, like heat rising from asphalt. When he blinked, it vanished, leaving only the deep green depths of an ordinary forest. Despite the odd sensation, he pressed forward, confident in his map. But as he followed the trail, the surroundings began to shift subtly, the branches curving differently, the soil dampening underfoot. He halted, heart thudding, realizing the familiar landmarks had somehow rearranged themselves. Daniel tried retracing his steps, but the forest seemed to close around him, reshaping the path like a living maze. Every direction looked identical, an ocean of moss and shadows. He called out, but his echo came back oddly delayed, distorted as if bouncing off unseen walls. His phone lost signal minutes later, leaving him with only the unsettling hum again, now louder, vibrating under his skin. Time felt sluggish, his watch hand seemed slower, seconds dragging like minutes. Panic began its slow crawl up his spine, yet daylight still spilled softly through the canopy. By late afternoon, exhaustion forced him to rest beside a small creek flowing crystal clear. He drank, splashed his face, and noticed the water moving strangely, a flicker backward, a hiccup in direction. The air turned cold instantly, breath fogging before his eyes, even as sunbeams pierced through. Night fell faster than it should have. One blink and the forest's green melted into an indigo haze. Daniel lit his flashlight, only to notice mist coiling around him, shapes twisting within it like figures frozen mid-motion. Whispers drifted, faint, indecipherable, looping fragments of his own voice. He walked endlessly through the night, guided by instinct more than sense. When dawn finally painted the world gray, Daniel realized he had circled back to the same creek. Each attempt to leave summoned that same crooked tree, that same burned log. Time stretched unbearably. On what felt like the second day, hunger settled in, dull and punishing. He sat, forcing himself to breathe steady, clutching the cross his mother gave him. The forest's hum now blended with a faint ticking, an unnatural rhythm that seemed to echo from deep beneath the ground. Daniel tried to carve a mark into a nearby tree as a breadcrumb, yet the bark resisted, almost pulsing under his knife. The blade dulled instantly, as if striking stone. He stumbled back, the forest vibrating once more, each trunk humming faintly like strings on an unseen instrument. He slept sporadically, haunted by dreams of distorted sunlight and faces peering through branches. In one fragment, he saw himself already gone, his fiancée crying beside an empty trailhead. He woke trembling, unsure if the boundary between waking and dreaming had dissolved completely. By the third sunrise, or what he believed was the third, Daniel's sense of time fractured completely. His watch now looped from 6:15 to 6:30 endlessly, refusing to advance beyond that window. He screamed into the forest, demanding release, yet silence swallowed every sound whole. Exhausted beyond measure, Daniel collapsed near a familiar boulder and waited, mind drifting. He felt the soft brush of wind, then a piercing pressure in his chest, like being pulled backward through a tunnel. The forest blurred into streaks of gray and green, an implosion of light and sound. He awoke on the trail, sunlight identical to when he first left, birds chirping, leaves swaying innocently. His phone beeped with a single missed call from his fiancée, time-stamped barely an hour after his departure. Confusion settled like frost, impossible, wrong in every logical sense. Daniel stumbled back to the parking lot, eyes burning from the daylight. His car sat where he left it, a thin layer of dew clinging to the windshield. When he checked the time again, his phone confirmed it was 7:30, only 1 hour had truly passed. He reached home, trembling and disoriented. His fiancée stared at him in shock, asking why he looked so pale, where he went. His voice broke as he tried explaining that 3 days had unfolded within a single hour, a truth even he barely believed. Later at the hospital, doctors found dehydration but no sign of prolonged exposure. No insect bites, no exhaustion typical of days in the wilderness. His vitals showed mild disorientation, yet physically he had been missing for mere 60 minutes. Authorities examined the trail and found faint footprints leading nowhere, ending abruptly mid-soil as if he vanished mid-step. Search dogs refused to advance beyond a certain point, tails tucked, whining softly at the tree line. The forest, it seemed, held them back. When investigators compared his phone's data, GPS logs displayed repeating coordinates, looping endlessly in a tight patch of land less than 50 feet across. As if Daniel had spent 3 days trapped inside a single unmoving bubble of space. Experts called it a hallucination brought by exhaustion or stress. Yet his internal clock, tested days later, was still misaligned, his body registering an additional 72 hours of hunger and sleep deprivation no science could explain. In quiet moments, Daniel swore he still heard that hum in the distance. It vibrated subtly through electronics in his home, through the walls at night. Some frequency, familiar and intimate, calling him back to where the world folded upon itself. His fiancée began recording audio at night, trying to capture the sound he described. Twice, faint tones appeared, frequencies too low for average human hearing. Experts declared them interference, though one waveform bore a near-perfect 1-hour loop. As weeks passed, Daniel felt himself slipping away, time jumping unexpectedly during daily routines. A minute lost here, 5 there, memories dissolving mid-thought. He kept a diary, each entry time-stamped meticulously, but even the ink seemed to fade faster than before. One night, while reading through his notes, Daniel discovered inked words he didn't remember writing, still in the forest. Can't get out. His heartbeat surged, recalling the fog-coated trees, the air humming in impossible rhythm. The page trembled in his shaking hand. Determined to end the nightmare, he returned to the same trail for answers. Yet as he reached the first bend, his compass needle spun violently, refusing to settle north. The air thickened again, time itself feeling heavy, resistant to motion. Daniel vanishes once more, this time without witnesses. Rescuers scoured the area for 72 hours, finding his gear neatly folded beside that same creek. No footprints, no struggle, no sign of departure. Only the faint echo of running water defying gravity for a split second. His disappearance drew paranormal investigators from across the country. Some claimed electromagnetic abnormalities, others described time distortions caused by overlapping realities. One team left with their instruments drained, batteries dying near that boulder where Daniel first fell. Forest locals whispered that the area had always been wrong. Stories of hunters losing days, campers waking before they slept, compasses spinning under clear skies. Reports date back decades, but official records dismiss them as coincidence or stress illusions. Scientists proposed magnetic anomalies, mild seismic waves, even sound-induced temporal perception errors. Yet none accounted for physical proof, shoes still dry after imaginary rainfall, watches looping 3 seconds repeatedly. Reality thinned there, at the edge of reason. Families now avoid that section entirely, calling it the Our Forest. Even wildlife behaves strangely, migrating around the perimeter. No one dares venture in after sunset, not since Daniel's final disappearance under the daylight that never changes. Locals sometimes spot faint lights deep in the trees at dawn, soft glows like phone screens flickering among fog. It lasts moments, then is gone. Some believe it's Daniel, still walking the loops of his private eternity, forever caught between moments. Investigators released the case as unresolved, categorized under unexplained temporal distortion. Files labeled non-conclusive gather dust in county archives, yet the GPS anomaly still reappears every year at the exact same coordinates. No explanation has satisfied the public or experts alike. What happened in those missing 72 hours, or that missing hour, depending how you count, remains a riddle between physics and something older. A reminder that time is not our servant but our jailer. If you ever hike late in Oregon and hear a hum just beyond your senses, remember Daniel Reed. Don't follow it. Don't answer when it calls. Because out there, one wrong step can dissolve the wall between hours and eternity.